I don't mind dogs on primetime, but that dog specifically, I did not expect to bark the way it did. So shout out to Dan for getting that one right. Yeah, we had no, those aren't up yet, bets, but they will be up before the game starts. Obviously, we only have a couple NBA, so it'll be a little light on the props, but I think we're gonna have at least two. Um, yeah, so shout out to everyone joining in right now. Yeah, we had a 2-0 sweep on our props yesterday. We had 6-game winning streak on our props on SoBet right now. 6-day winning streak. That's our longest one. I've been on SoBet since right before March Madness started. I have not had a 6-day winning streak more than twice before. Absolute banger. So today we're going for the record. I haven't done a week straight win streak, so that would be electric. Bill Sussman says he's the emperor of Japan. I appreciate it. Big Dave, bro. We're going to talk about Trevor in a moment here, but let's talk about what happened with the college football playoff. I know we've had a couple days to think about this. One thing I want to get into on this is the statement that came from Florida State. Okay, this is the biggest part. I've had a lot of different feelings about it. You know, I had a Florida State future. I got a Florida State future at plus 1950. I also have a Texas future at plus 2000 and a Michigan at plus 800. But Florida State future at plus 1950. I'm not upset they didn't go in, though. To be honest, I'm not upset they didn't go in. Ethan, we're going to get to the locks in a moment. But I do think they deserve to get in. So personally, I benefited from this because I don't think they have any chance. I'm not even getting a cash out value on it. But I don't respect it. So here's the statement. Here's the statement that was read by Mike Norvell. He's the AD for Florida State. It says he's disgusted and infuriated with the committee's decision today to have what was earned on the field taken away because a small group of people decided they know better than the results of the game. What's the point of playing the games? Do you tell players it's okay to quit if someone goes down? Do you play a senior on senior day for fear of injury? Where's the motivation to schedule challenging non-conference games? We're not only an undefeated Power 5 conference champion, we also played 2 Power 5 non-conference games away from home and won both of them. I don't understand how we're supposed to think this is an acceptable way to evaluate teams. And I got to say, normally when I see a statement like this, I'm about to say, yeah, he's the head coach. I appreciate that. Normally when I see a statement like this, I'm like, crybaby type deal. Don't talk about what the refs did. Don't talk about this. But they did everything possible. They won 13 games. You cannot tell me, and I know we won't have this issue next year because it's going to be a 12-team tournament, but when you intentionally schedule games, this isn't Liberty, right? They scheduled specifically difficult games so they could qualify by beating those teams and winning their conference. They set out a gauntlet. There was, if we go 13-0, we do the impossible, we get in. Would they have been a great competitor in the tournament? Probably not. But what kind of a standard are we setting? Absolutely disgusting decision by them. Now, in terms of how this plays out, we've got a different situation on our hands. And some people were saying that Florida State would be out of the ACC the moment this happened if they didn't get in, which would be valid, but now we're going to the 12 team and, you know, there's not going to be undefeated teams left out of the 12 team. Would Liberty at 13-0 in a shitty-ass conference make it? That's a bigger question, but I don't know. I don't think we're going to face that situation. And I think Liberty, they schedule one like top 25 game, one SEC lower level game, and they go undefeated. They'll have a shot at the 12 team and then get absolutely boat race like they will against Oregon. I think Oregon might beat Liberty by 45. We'll have issue next year for seeding bye weeks. Parks, what are we on? We're going to talk in a moment on one of the plays. All rigged for Bama, says Scott. You know, that was one of the things that people were spreading around. So, you know, there is a discussion that ESPN is incentivized to see an SEC team. Obviously, everyone likes ratings. College Football Committee isn't financially incentivized, but the suggestion is that ESPN did incentivize them financially because they benefit from an SEC team going in because they have exclusive SEC rights for broadcast. That's a factor. Okay, that could be valid. It could just be an understood thing, the same way certain players and teams get called. It's not specifically stated, hey, we need to make sure the Chiefs win this game, but you know, as a referee, you know. Steve says it's all about money, and there is never a more accurate statement consistently in every single situation. Where's the money at? And we know. Robert Wall says you make great content. Appreciate it, brother. I appreciate you. Miguel, good to see you. Georgia loses one game in 2 years and gets knocked out. Parks, that's a tough one too. So obviously, when we talk about Georgia is a one-loss team. If the loss didn't come in the conference championship, I think they fly in no problem. Big Dave says he meet PD and NY. We were on live together. I think they make it in no problem if Georgia didn't lose the SEC. If they lost week 3 or something, sure, they get in. But that's what Bama did. And then you have to give it to the champion. You have to give it to the team that beat Georgia. And then Texas, they beat Alabama. So you can't put Georgia over Texas or Bama. And you can't. So you'd have to remove Washington, which is invalid, or obviously Michigan, which is the least likely for that to happen. So I think this is going to be the best playoff that it could have been after the results were in. I still think it's absolutely disrespectful to Florida State, and it questions the integrity of the whole season. College sports has always been a shit show. I mean, March Madness is a great thing, but we still have, you win your conference, you get in, as opposed to teams on the bubble. There are enough spots that it's valid. It's okay. They do just make the playoffs bigger starting next year, Al Hoots. So that's going to be better. But yeah, Georgia and Florida State should be in, says Scott. Again, Florida State, I'll agree with you. You can't convince me on a team that scheduled specifically tough games and went undefeated and won their conference. You can't question that they should be in. And at the end of the day, they won games they weren't supposed to win. When TCU was in last year, yeah, they got absolutely slaughtered in the national championship, and no one liked that. But they made it to the championship. They didn't get in and then get slaughtered in the first game. They made it to the championship. It was a crazy game. There were some, things that went their way, but they were 11-point dogs or something. They were huge dogs, slightly smaller dogs than Florida State would have been against Michigan, and they would have been slightly less dogs if they had beaten Michigan. I don't think they would have. I think it would have been a blowout, but at the end of the day, it's a disrespectful decision. We can't do it. TCU beat Michigan last year, says Scott. Exactly. That's the beauty of the game. Otherwise, why don't we just everyone play 12 games and then we vote on our national champion? But you know what? You can't bet on that. I mean, that's what we do with the Heisman and the MVP, and that's a scam, but more on that. Long Money says, put PD in the room. Ratings are all they care about. Listen, if I were in that room, I'd be like, listen, here's the deal. I got a plus 2,000 future on Texas, so Texas is going to be the 1 seed. And the 4 seed is going to be Wisconsin. That's what we're going to go with. Do I have any plays today? Yeah. So before we get to the next topic, I got one play. We got 2 long monies in the room. Long money is almost like pick 'em Petey. He's got pots in every single area. He's popping up like whack-a-mole. You can't keep him down. Rangers money line, says James. I'm not a hockey guy, but I took Rangers to win the World Series. So before we get to the next topic, I'll give you the one play that starts in about 20 minutes, okay? We got Tennessee minus 15. You guys are getting the SoBet slate for free, by the way. SoBet slate for free right now. Better appreciate it. We have Tennessee minus 5. They're playing George Mason, or what is it? George, I can't even remember the name. Patriot George, some nonsense. It's a 15-point favorite in this game. Okay. Normally you stay away from such big favorites, but when you have an offensive-minded team like Tennessee, that's a huge favorite, and you think about they're putting up 76.3 points per game, I believe it is 76.3. When they're putting out elite numbers offensively, they're not just dominant on the defensive side. We're more comfortable with taking the big spreads because we're expecting a higher scoring game. The other team less likely to keep up. So think about those spreads in terms of portion of the total points scored in a game, right? And them being 15.5 point favorites here, I think I would take them at 19.5 even. I think this is excellent value. I love Tennessee minus 15.5. That game does start in 20 minutes. We got 2 other plays we're going to get to in a moment here, but we'll do those in between topics. I appreciate you fiends coming in here asking for the locks, and I got the locks. We're just going to shoot the shit a little bit more right now. We got someone in the chat saying I lost 19 bets in a row. And listen, buddy, that's impressive. I tip my cap to you. 19 bets in a row. That is... And if you're doing like spread plays and not crazy long shots, you're not doing plus 14,000 parlays. I mean, bro, 19 bets, you got to go for 20. You have to keep pushing. This is one of the most electric performances I've seen. I mean, when the Lions went 0-16, were people paying attention to those last 3 games? You better believe. Now that we got the Patriots, they got 2 wins. All right. Wow. You're going to go 2-15. Real exciting. I don't care about that. But when someone is legendarily bad, you got to stay locked in. Thoughts on the Jets starting Zach Wilson? If Zach Wilson is really saying, I don't want to play, that's crazy. I understand he's set up for failure, but has he been told he's being traded at the end of the year? Because he's still in there. He's supposed to learn from Aaron Rodgers next year, which is supposed to be valuable for his career. I don't think Zach Wilson is 100% a disaster. I don't think he's going to be a long-term starting quarterback somewhere. I think he'll get another starting job at some point, or at least, some starts. And I don't like him saying I'm done because I thought he was going to be on the squad again next year and play behind Rodgers. Is it bad you took out a loan? Yeah, it is. always, I preach bankroll management here. If you're tailing the plays on SoBet, we always talk about bankroll management. You're using 2% of your bankroll. Always. Every play is 2% of your bankroll. At the end of the week, we reevaluate. If we drop 20%, our unit size goes down 20%. Units, you always have 50 units, and the only way you could ever go broke is going negative 50 units in a week, and that will never happen. So if it goes disastrously, your unit shrinks, okay, but you never go broke. That's why you put your bankroll. I'm not worried about this money for the next year, and you try to build a bigger bankroll, and you do it the disciplined way and the understanding way. I'm not going to judge anyone who gets a little reckless. That's what they're trying to get us to do. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to avoid, but I'm not going to judge anyone. But it's just. It's not the way to go about it. And once you start chasing it, you go down a pretty bad road. If Forex knows what's up, appreciate it, bro. Sportsaholic validation. I love it, bro. That's just the end of the day. I mean, we had the worst month of my life was July, and we've been winning months ever since then. You know, we almost had a losing month in October. Started out the first 2 weeks of October were disastrous, and then we just finished with a bang. Just really got up there, and that's what you have to do. What I would have wanted to do is go down 8 units and take an 8-unit play, but that's how you get ruined. That's how you go bankrupt. That's never the play. Bankroll management. There's no tricks to the trade, but if you do bankroll management, it's a simple mathematic equation. You cannot go broke, and if your bankroll drops every single week, okay, you learned something. You're not good at this. Something has to change. That's it. That's why bankroll management is important. It's not just how you grow. It's how you find out if you're good at this or not, or if you should be tailing someone else or whatever it is. All right, on to the next topic. We have to talk about our weekly trending up and trending down. This is one of our weekly topics. We're going to be talking about who's up, who's down in the NFL. And I got a few more on the downside than I do on the upside. Okay, right now trending up. We got to give it to the Packers, right? We got to give it. Look at Jordan Love balling out. I mean, I said it at the start of the year, and I'm not going to pat myself too hard on the back because I started to lose faith after a few games as well. But I said at the start of the year, I think Jordan Love's good. I'm not saying he's going to be Aaron Rodgers in a year or anything like that, but I think he's good. I think he's going to lead this team to some victories. Kind of a tough start. But the last 3-4 games, he's playing the way we thought he was supposed to play. He's delivering on that level. Kymus, by the way, appreciate the love. We got some cheese in the chat. People love that pack. The Packers being good is good for the NFL. The Lions are good now. Okay, I don't think the Packers have a shot at catching them, but this is a good team. And when you see a team winning in a way that they were supposed to win, you see a team winning, playing the game that they're kind of delivering on an optimistic expectation, but still real. You say this isn't a fluke. You know, it's been consistent over the last few games. You know, they're playing at a really high level. I'll be honest, I didn't put this out on SoBet because I'm not a full-on degenerate, but I did just sprinkle a little $14 plus $10,200. That was 14 to win $1,442, and it was a 7-leg parlay. We got the Cardinals and the Packers, and the rest were favorites. You know what? I correctly predicted every single game of last week until last night. Just straight up on Pick'em. I correctly predicted the outcome of every single game on the money line. But yeah, shout out to the Packers. They've been playing good ball. Love looks good. His ball placement's been really strong lately. The play calling from LaFleur has been really strong, and it didn't look that way at the beginning of the season. Okay, it didn't even look like that last year with Aaron Rodgers, and now I know Aaron Rodgers is probably trying to call the shots. So take from that what you will, but the play calling looked really strong. And this Chiefs defense, okay, is a really strong defense. The Chiefs offensively have not been playing well this year. They've been carried by their defense, but they have been playing really strong defense this whole entire time. And the Packers made them look silly. It wasn't one good drive, 2 good drives. It was drive in, drive out, moving the ball consistently, handling pressure perfectly. The way they were able to mix up reads and be able to not just get receivers open on these screen passes like you see a lot of weak quarterbacks do, get them open on screen passes and have blocking position because they were letting the blitz come to them. They were getting the ball out quickly, and then they had open blocking and open field for people to get a lot of yards after the catch. It was really strong, and even on the more downfield throws, I thought Jordan Love's ball placement looked significantly better. This Packers team in a weak NFC has a very strong chance of making the playoffs. I would put them at like a 70% chance of making the playoffs at this point. This is a strong team. And guess what else? That's the only team I have on my trending up right now, because you can't tell me the Niners are trending up because they've been up. They've been up. The only issue they ever had was a few weeks of injury. The Niners are unfortunately the best team in the NFL right now. I've been saying that since day one. aside from the Bills. But yeah, this is the best team. Not the Rams. All right, valid, Austin. The Rams are valid. I'll give you that one. It's still Matt Stafford. He's still a strong quarterback. They never look great. I'm a big eye test guy. They never look great. They find wins. I'm just seeing too many mistakes from them. But the way the NFC is right now, can they find a way to get into the playoffs? Absolutely. They're 6-6 right now. There's a lot of teams. There's not a lot of teams that are better than 7-5 in the NFC right now. You got your four no doubters, right? 3 no doubters is how I would say it. But in terms of record, you have your 4 no doubters. You got the Niners, you got the Eagles, you got the Cowboys, you got the Lions. I would say Niners, Cowboys, Eagles, Lions in terms of who I respect the most. Those are the top 4 teams in the NFC without a doubt. After that, it's a shit show. Someone's asking, Lurking Guy says, do you believe the NFL is rigged or scripted? I never believe scripted. Scripted is way too impossible to pull off. It's nonsense when people say that. Rigged in terms of being pushed in the direction of desires for the NFL? Absolutely. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The way the AFC is, how banged up they are, how poor the quarterback play has been, with, granted, a ton of QB injuries. The Bills are 6-6. They need 4 wins probably to make it into the playoffs for the last 5. Maybe 5, but likely 4 to make it into the playoffs. Okay? I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills get some good refereeing down the line. If the Bills find themselves in a tough situation, I wouldn't be surprised if the refs are a little bit on the Bills' side. Because what do you want to see in the playoffs? Do you want to see fucking Kenny Pickett's backup? Or do you want to see Joshua goddamn dog Allen willing his team to victory? That's what I want to see. That's what I wake up for in the morning. That's what I think about at night. That's what I think about if I can say this on air, come. All right. So let's talk about who's trending down right now. Lurking Guy, appreciate you, brother. Eagles, Bills, Super Bowl. I think it's Eagles, Niners, to be honest. That's what I predicted after the Eagles, Chiefs game. I said that. This is non-alcoholic, by the way. 7.2%, so basically. All right. So trending down right now, we got a few teams. Okay, trending down, obviously, we have the Jags. Not just because they lost last night, but because of injuries. This is an unfortunate thing. Listen, Trevor Lawrence, that didn't look great. It was a high ankle sprain. We'll see how he is. There's no way he's going to be 100% this week. He's week to week, which is very uninformative. I think we'll find out more as the week goes on and if he plays Sunday. I don't know anything about Breathard, to be honest. They're back up, but he looked fine in a tiny bit of time. But I don't know. Their defense looked terrible last night. Their defense looked terrible against an offense that should have looked horrible. I don't even really know. I don't even really know what happened last night. I'll be totally honest. That was probably the most surprising football game I've seen this season in terms of the way the Jags defense performed and the Bengals offense. But the Jaguars were kind of borderline fraudulent at 8-3. A good defense. Trevor Lawrence getting too much hype, not really delivering, even though the wins are coming in. Now he's hurt. You got what's-his-face hurt as well. And you got a team that's 8-4 and plays some pretty strong games down the road. The Texans are knocking on the door. They're just a game back. CJ Stroud is playing like an unbelievable pace right now. Yes, Christian Kirk. Appreciate Sportsaholic, bro. So I don't know. Long Money says, why can't Jacksonville afford a cart for their $400 million QB? That is an excellent question, brother. That is an excellent question. The dude had to walk with his sprained ankle about 3 or 4 miles. Dude went on a hike. How that Georgia pick go says 3 sticks. I saw the box score, so I know the answer. I assumed you saw it as well. Or you wouldn't be here asking, brother. Come on. So Jags are trending down more based on unfortunate situation than play. I'm going to keep Detroit on trending down. I thought they played a poor game defensively, and that's the thing. When we started this year and we said the Lions are legit, and I like the Lions. I like them since Hard Knocks. I've been rooting for them, but the defense was going to be a liability. Then they come out strong start of the season. It's been 4 straight games where that defense has been a liability. You can't be an elite team. You can't be an elite team that is a legitimate contender when your defense is that flawed. I mean, you gave up 28 to Derek Carr and Jameis Winston. I love Jameis Winston. He just spins around in a circle like it's a dizzy bat race and then throws the ball and hopes it hits someone on the right team. Dude's hilarious. He doesn't even know. I don't even know if he opens his eyes when he passes the ball. This dude, you want to talk about turnover machines. People give shit to Joshua Allen and stuff like that. Jameis Winston is drunk driving that team, and they put up 28 points on this team. Listen, the Lions defense is a liability. I like that team. I like to see them succeed, but they are going to get beaten if they don't figure out what's going on there. If Aiden Hutchinson doesn't find a way to figure it out offensively, it's going to be a wrap. Just saying. All right, trending down. The Chiefs. I have been ringing the doomsday bell for the Chiefs since week 4 of the season. This doesn't look like the Chiefs. I don't like the Chiefs. I'm a Bills fan. We're going to play them in a week. But just as a football viewer, I'm supposed to be terrified of Patrick Mahomes. I'm supposed to see Patrick Mahomes get the ball with 2 minutes left, with 3 minutes left in the game, and be like, fuck, it's over. He's going to walk down and win the game. That's what we're supposed to feel. That's how you felt about Brady in his prime. Fuck Brady. But that's how you're supposed to feel. You're supposed to be scared, terrified. Nah, I picked the Packers last week. He's just not, it's not like that. Yeah, there's a lot of blame on his receivers. There's blame on the loss of Eric Bieniemy. I think he's a very valuable offensive coordinator, and I don't know if it's the adjustment process or him himself, but you got a worse offense, and there's no way around it. And then the way the Packers were able to scheme against the Chiefs defense, the way they were able to combat the pressure that was coming their way, he might have just given the rest of the NFL the keys to the code. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's a tough look for the Chiefs. I think the Bills are going to go into Arrowhead, and they're going to do what they did the last 2 times they were there. They're going to beat that ass, and I can't wait to see it. Patrick Mahomes is still an elite QB. He's still one of the best in the league. I'm not gonna talk crazy like that, but he don't got it like that right now. That's all I'm saying. Maybe it's the drops, maybe it's the scheme, maybe he's just a guy that had an A+ season last year, and now he's an elite QB having a B season. Maybe that's what it is. But that team does not scare me. The whole entire AFC does not scare me. The whole entire NFL outside of the 49ers does not scare me. And that's why I say, if the Bills slide through that back door, if Josh Allen goes through that doggy door like the dog he is, you better walk the fuck out, because they're not stopping until they get to the bowl and the Niners say, what's up? That's all I'm saying. That's your Super Bowl matchup. Big Dave, he says he has a stone, a.k.a. lock. I can't go live with you right now. We're live on the SoBet Twitch stream as well. I'm going to give one more play before we get to our final topic. All right? The play is going to be Knicks plus 5.5. Okay, Knicks plus 5.5. We still got about 45 minutes till game time. The Knicks have been electric on offense lately. They've been playing harder. This is a team that plays harder early on in the season than most teams do. They come out and ball out. They play hard defense. They hustle. They play 4 quarters. You don't see a lot of that. The Bucks are still figuring out. Are they still going to be able to make a deep run? Are they still a stacked, talented team? Absolutely. But are they balling out right now? Absolutely not. They're figuring out. You know how it is when you get a different team, how long it takes to mesh. It takes a while. They should be figuring out a little bit more at this point, but they haven't really. I like Knicks plus 5.5. Stop sleeping on the Knicks, man. They're going to get in there, and they're going to get the job done. Let me get a couple of these comments before we get to our final topic of the day. If Buffalo loses, do they can McDermott? I don't think so, but I would be more than okay with that. And at the end of the year, not in season, absolutely not in season. But I love what I've seen from Joe Brady as offensive coordinator these last 2 weeks. I think he's going to be great. But in terms of the head coaching position, I like McDermott as a defensive coordinator. I hate his conservative approach to the final moments of games. It's cost us so many games, so many close games. Yeah, there's a luck factor. There's other things that go into it. But to have lost two overtime games and have lost all 6 games by less than 1 score, it's terrible. You give up a game-winning drive to the Patriots, who have 0 game-winning drives. I mean, it's crazy how much he's failed this team in the final moments of games, how conservatively they play, how much of a cushion. They're playing prevent defense like they're up 3 scores in the final 2 minutes. That's my issue with McDermott. Everything else, I like the guy, except for his personality. All right, final topic today. We got to talk about what happened in that Eagles-Niners game. Not just the fact that I predicted correctly that the Niners would smack that ass, but the fact that Dom hopped in there, got his hands on a player, and he got tossed a little 1-for-1. Okay, so we got to talk about something. Before we do that, HSJJC says, do I purposely lose on purpose? That's a little redundant. Do you purposely talk like a moron on purpose? No, I never lose on purpose. If it were that easy, then I would just do the opposite and be the richest man on earth. By the way, we continue to be up units. You're the type of guy to look at one long shot play and then come in here and run the mouth. Come on, brother. Who's the guy that told you the Niners have been the team? They've always been the team. Nobody knows ball. Nobody looks and sees and understands it more than me. You better put some goddamn respect on my name like I'm Joshua Allen. You push my back against the wall, I am the Joshua Allen of sports betting. Put the ball in my hands. I will find a way to get it back. I like it when you hate me. I like it when you think I'm down. I like it when you talk shit about me and you don't think I'm that guy. I'll find a way into the end zone like I always do. Call me Josh Allen. Couple of Buffalo boys. All right, let's talk about Dom. Is that like the plan? Is he the guy that, listen, you got one job? Because I fantasize about this. I talk to my friends when we go to Bills games. I say, bro, I'll do anything for this team. I'll go to prison. I'll run in there and make one tackle at the end of the game. Sure. Do I go to prison? Do I get banned from the game? Do the Bills get fined? Absolutely. But if I need to sacrifice my body to get a dub, I do it. And I do it in the jersey of the opposing team so they can't attribute it to the Bills. I'll do it at the home stadium of the other team. You want me to get roughed up by a couple boys in pads? I like that. Don't make me come. That's all I'm saying. So when Dom came in there and he got Greenlaw ejected in that game. Was that the game plan? Is that his deal? Is he trying to sacrifice himself for that? Do they just got another Dom coming in? Because if you look at this fat fuck, I mean, is he any different from any other guy you could have stuffed in there? Any other pot-bellied middle-aged man that says he works security but hasn't done anything other than walk uphill on a treadmill? And when I say walk uphill, I mean a 3% incline. Walking around in a tracksuit, people are saying maybe he's a mafia member. Maybe this is what he does for the Philadelphia Mafia. There's always been rumors that the Eagles were associated. People have been saying that. You know how much that city goes hard for the team. You know how much nonsense goes on. You know how insufferable that fan base is. Team security, chief security officer. Chief security officer, that's a tech term. Chief security officer is for someone who handles cybersecurity. They just threw a couple labels in there, put a tracksuit on them, said you can get in on one play. You got to pick your spot. You got to do it when it matters. Cody Cornelius says waste management. Facts, bro. Dom DeSandro, that's not a real name, brother. It's not. I swear to God, it's not. Give this man a bottle of red wine and let him do what he does. I think it was really fucked up what happened. I hate the Eagles. Their fan base is insufferable. One of the most hypocritical fan bases in the world. And I respect being a piece of shit for your team. Honestly, I do. I'm a Buffalo guy. What do you want me to do? I'll break a table. I'll break a nose. I'll do whatever it takes to get the Bills a dub. But the way the Eagles act makes me sick to my stomach. And maybe that means they're doing their job. But when you come in here and you say everyone hates us and then you be the most hateable type of person on a consistent basis, it's like, bro, of course. I don't go light myself on fire, run around the street, licking everyone I can see and say, wow, everyone hates me. Bro, you're acting hateable. Take some responsibility. All right, gang, I appreciate the comments. That's my thoughts on Dom. Not all Philly fans are bad, bro. I mean, I'm sure I can find one that's all right, Big Money, and I hope it's you. And it would be better for Philly fans if they could accept the fact we got Knicks plus 5, Drew. Last play coming right now. That's corny. You talking? Let us defend live. King of Pressure. Are you an Eagles guy? You can go ahead and say your comments. I hear everyone out. I mean, listen. I respect. Eagles fans want to be pieces of shit. I get it. I understand. But they are the best at being pieces of shit. They embrace that role. They try to be that role. That's who they are, and they're doing it. It's not really, I don't even know that Eagles fans are debating that. They're the most insufferable crowd in the NFL. That's the role they play. That's who they try to be. They try to be the bad guys, and then they try to use it as bulletin board material. Like, yeah, people hate us. Bro, of course they do. I will say this. The tush push, they're the best at it. It might get banned. And when that gets banned, Philly's reaction, you better grease those poles. That's all I'm saying. And while you're at it, grease mine. You know what I'm saying? All right, that was electric. Last pick of the day. Over in the Lakers' Sun. Drew just he pulled it out of my throat right there. He pulled it out of my throat. Lakers Suns over 229.5. I will have a video up on the TikTok about that later. It's up on SoBet where all my plays are up daily. I got all the locks in on a daily basis. There's the QR code if you're here on the live right now on the SoBet Twitch. Go get involved. But Lakers Suns over 229. We have to understand this is the in-season tournament. The margin of victory matters. Now, I don't think this will be a blowout. I think it'll go down to the wire, which means we're going to have fouls at the end of the game. Okay? That's a big deal. We're going to have fouls at the end of the game, and that's going to push games over. Also, when you look at both teams and their points per game average, that equals 229, right? 229 is a half here, but both defensively are giving up a little bit more. Then we have to talk about the fact that do they play hard defense on the Suns? Absolutely not. I think it's kind of a lazy defense, and when LeBron gets a chance to snooze, when he gets a chance to sit and he lean back and play a little bit lazier defense to conserve down the stretch, that's how he goes about it. So I think this line is light because it's in season. I think it's light because of the way these defenses perform. I think it's light because it's going to be a close game. It's going to have foul shots at the end of it. I think it's a light line in every respect. We found value. We're going to hammer it. That's a 2-unit play. So for those who weren't here at the beginning, these are my plays. We have, it's probably too late for this one if you weren't at the beginning. We have Tennessee minus 15. We have Knicks plus 5.5. And we got over 229.5 on the Lakers Suns. Also for props, we're on a 6-day win streak. We're going to take tonight off because there's only 2 games. We don't want to force anything. Those are the 3 plays. Get them on SoBet right now. Get them every single day. Keep winning with the boy. And you're not just getting plays. You're part of the best community in sports. We're the Eagles fans of sports betting. I'm just kidding. We're much better than that. We're Bills Mafia sports betting. Okay. We go in and we wage war on Vegas every single day. We think about the way that they wronged us. We think about what they've done to us, to our families, to our bank accounts, the scams they run, the juice they take, the nonsense, the ESPN bullshit. And we go in, we take our revenge. We strap up, we sharpen our swords, we do a speech like it's a night before a battle in Game of Thrones, or if you're more of a Lord of the Rings guy, it's like when King Theoden took his sword, smacked it against the spear of every single man in that cavalry, and he said, "Tonight we ride for glory." That's what we do on SoBet every single day. Vegas, we are storming your cancel. We are launching broken crumbs of our building in catapults over your walls. We are putting up ladders to your castle, and we are storming over like a bunch of orcs. I don't care. Sometimes I root for the bad guy. That's all I'm saying, baby. Let's fucking go, Kool-Aid man. We rise up every single day. You got wounds? Lick them. Bandage. I don't give a fuck. Get yourself a pot of gruel. Buckle down. We got a game to play. How did I start my sports betting career? One day I saw the Bills on Thanksgiving, and I said, oh, the Bills are playing on Thanksgiving. We got to lock in on this. And I got all my friends and I to deposit on an offshore account because it wasn't really available like that. And we all put in like $600. We were young at the time. And we hit that play plus money. And then every single Thanksgiving after that, we doubled down. We ran that shit up to 10K. And now topbet.eu, which we should have known was a scam because it's .eu. I don't trust anyone outside of this country now. They won't give us our money. It's 9.3K. They won't give us our money. So that's how my sports betting career started, with a plus 1650 come up that I haven't been able to get the cash from. That's how it started. Guys, that's our show. Appreciate you coming on. We're here Tuesdays, every Tuesday, 6 o'clock. We got our picks up daily on SoBet. Get involved. 6-day heater on our props. Get involved. Stay tuned. Love all you, except for the ones I